हेलो मेरे प्यारे बच्चों। अब हम लोग एनिमल टिश्यू के बारे में पढ़ेंगे और एनिमल टिश्यू में बेसिकली 4 मेन कैटेगरीज: एपिथेलियल टिश्यू, मस्कुलर टिश्यू, connective tissue and nervous tissue. If we start with animal tissue with epithelial is having basically 5 categories: squamous, cuboidal, columnar, ciliated and glandular. If we talk about epithelial tissue in Greek language means epi, upon, thele means skin, is the simplest kind of animal tissue that occurs as a protective covering. It consists of one or more layers of tightly cohesive sheets of cells which cover the external surface of the body and internal organs or lining the cavities in the body and viscera. For example, skin, surface layer of mouth, alimentary canal, lungs, and are all made of epithelial tissue. The cells are closely packed and there is little intercellular material between them. So the main functions of epithelial tissues are they cover the body surface as an outer layer of skin and provide protection to the underlying tissues from mechanical injury, drying up, entry of germs and harmful chemicals. Epithelial also form inner lining of mouth, alimentary canal and other internal organs inside the body and protect these organs. Epithelial lining of the intestine absorbs water and digested food. Epithelial tissue help in the elimination of nitrogenous and other waste products. Epithelial lining of cavities give rise to glands that provide valuable secretions like mucus, gastric juice. So basically, epithelial tissue, if we categorize it, squamous epithelium, then squamous epithelium is basically a kind of tissue which is found in blood vessels, urinary tubules, alveoli of lungs, and stratified multi-layered squamous epithelium form epidermis of the skin, and this epithelium also lines the buccal cavity, pharynx, esophagus, anal canal, and lower parts of urethra, and it provides protection to the underlying parts against abrasion. Abrasion means mechanical injury and entry of germs or chemicals. It also helps in excretion, gaseous exchange and secretion of seolmic fluid. Then the second category of epithelial tissue is cuboidal epithelium. This epithelium consists of cube-like cells which are about as tall as wide. The outline of cells is of polygonal in surface view and square in section. If we talk about its occurrence, it is mainly found in salivary ducts, pancreatic ducts, sweat gland, salivary gland and thyroid gland. And it helps in protection, secretion, absorption, excretion and gamete formation. If we talk about columnar epithelium, then it consists of tall or petal-like cells that are much taller than wide. The nuclei are generally elongated along the long axis of cells. If we talk about its occurrence, they are found in stomach, intestine and gallbladder. It also lines mammary gland ducts and parts of urethra. Its main function is protection, absorption and secretion. Columnar epithelium of intestine is specialized for the absorption of water and digested food. If we talk about the next category of epithelial tissue, then it is ciliated epithelium. It consists of cuboidal or columnar cell that bear cilia on their free surface. A cilium is fine, vibratile, cytoplasmic outgrowth that arises from a minute basal granule. They are mostly found in urinary tubules of the kidney, and they also line the nasal passage, oviducts, then terminal bronchioles and ventricle of the brain. Its main function is in helping the movement of mucus, urine, cerebrospinal fluid in a particular direction. Then I am coming to glandular epithelium. The glandular epithelium is basically, it consists of columnar cells modified to secrete chemicals. It lines the glands like gastric gland, pancreatic lobules, and intestinal glands. So this was all about the epithelial tissue, and the next tissue which I am going to talk about is about the muscle tissue. Muscles or muscle tissue of the body consist of long, narrow muscle cells, and the cells are elongated in structure and they are called muscle fibers. Muscle fibers may contain one or more nuclei. They are basically of three main types: striated, unstriated, and cardiac muscles. If we talk about striated muscle, then striated muscles form more than 80% of the mass of soft tissue in a vertebrate body. They are attached to the bones by tendons, help in the movement of external body part, and they are also called skeletal muscle. The contraction and relaxation of these muscles are under the control of animal. They are therefore called voluntary muscle. The muscle fibers show alternate dark and light stripes, hence they are called striated muscles. The striated muscle consists of long, narrow, cylindrical, unbranched fibers with blunt ends. Each fiber is enclosed in a thin but distinct plasma membrane called sarcolemma. The cells contain many elongated, flattened nuclei, characteristically located towards the periphery near the sarcolemma. And striated muscles are found in body wall, in the limbs. They are also found in tongue, pharynx, beginning of esophagus. If we talk about its functions, then they are helping in movement of body parts and locomotion, and they also help in several voluntary movements of the body. Coming to the unstriated muscles, means smooth muscle. They are actually the kind of muscle tissue which are found in the walls of hollow, visceral organs. Visceral means internal, except heart. So they occur in the walls of alimentary canal and ducts, blood vessel, urinary bladder. They also occur in iris of human eye, ciliary body of eye, and dermis of the skin. If we talk about the functions, then they are involuntary muscle. They do not work according to our will. Smooth muscle contractions are rhythmic. These muscles contract slowly but can remain contracted for a long period of time. Rhythmic contractions of smooth muscle in walls of tubular organs, peristaltic contraction, result in the rhythmic progressive wave of muscular contraction and relaxation. These movements occur in gastrointestinal tract and male genital tract. In some organs, the smooth muscles make the organ short and thick by its contraction or long and thin by its relaxation. They contract throughout the organ as a single unit and produce extrusive movement as in urinary bladder, gallbladder, ureters. Then next is cardiac muscle. Cardiac muscles consist of short cylindrical fibers and they are found in heart. They are confined to the wall of heart only, alright, and pulmonary veins and superior vena cava. If we talk about functions, then cardiac muscle contracts, relaxes rapidly and continuously with a rhythm, but it never gets fatigued. Contraction and relaxation of cardiac muscle cause pumping of blood out of the heart and into the heart regularly. If we talk about the connective tissue, connective tissues are of mainly 5 types: areolar, dense regular connective, adipose, skeletal, and vascular. Areolar tissue. It is loose connective tissue. It is most widely distributed connective tissue. Transparent, jelly-like, sticky matrix containing numerous fibers and cells, abundant in mucin. And fibers are mostly of 2 types: white collagen fiber and made up of protein called collagen, which on boiling with water changes to gelatin. And the second is yellow elastic fiber. They are formed of a protein called elastin. Collagen fibers provide flexibility and strength, whereas elastic fibers provide elasticity. Areolar is connective in function. It fixes the skin with the muscle, fills the spaces inside the organ, attaches the blood vessels and nerves with the surrounding tissues, fastens the peritoneum to the body wall and viscera. It is commonly called packaging tissue of the body. So now I'm coming to the next, that is tendon. Tendons are the type of dense regular connective tissue. Tendons are cord-like, very tough, inelastic bundles of white collagen fiber bound together by areolar tissue. The cells present in tendons are elongated fibroblasts, which lie in almost continuous rows here and there. Tendons connect skeletal muscle with the bones. That is the very important line. Ligament are cords formed by yellow elastic tissue in which many collagen fibers are bound together by areolar tissue. The fibroblasts are irregularly scattered, and this tissue combines strength with great flexibility. The ligaments serve to bind the bones together. If we talk about the next tissue, then it is adipose tissue. Adipose is primarily a fat-storing tissue in which matrix is packed with large spherical or oval fat cells, which are called adipocytes. And adipose tissue is found beneath the skin, in the covering of heart, around the blood vessel, kidneys, and in yellow bone marrow. This tissue stores fat and insulates the body against heat loss. It forms a shock-absorbing cushion around the kidney and the eyeballs. Blubber in whale, an insulating fat body. Similarly, hump in camel is also rich in adipose tissue. Next is skeletal tissue. Skeletal tissue forms a rigid skeleton which support the vertebrate body, help in locomotion, provide protection to many vital organs. For example, cartilage and bone. If we talk about cartilage, then cartilage is found in long bones, pinnae of ears, end of nose, in the walls of respiratory duct, within intervertebral disc. In shark and rays, the entire skeleton is cartilage. So the main function of cartilage is it absorbs stresses and provide flexibility to the body part. Now I am coming to bone. Bone is very strong and non-flexible vertebrate connective tissue. Compact bone consisting of living bone cell called osteoblast embedded in a firm calcified matrix. Osteoblasts are contained in spaces which are arranged in concentric circles present throughout the matrix. Okay, if we talk about the salt which are found in bones, then these will be calcium and magnesium carbonates. Function of bone is to provide levers for movement, support for soft part of the body. Bones also protect many delicate tissues and organs. Now I am coming to the next, fluid tissue. In fluid tissue, I will talk about blood. Blood is mainly made up of white blood cell, red blood cell, and platelets. RBC in mammals are small, circular, biconcave disc and lack nuclei when mature. There are almost 5 million red blood cells per millimeter cube of blood. They are iron-rich, red-colored, oxygen-carrying protein pigment hemoglobin. Hemoglobin combines reversibly with oxygen to form oxyhemoglobin, that is blood red in color. WBC means white blood cells are large-sized nucleated cells present in much smaller number. They are capable of amoeboid movement and play an important role in the body's defense mechanism. There are two main categories of white blood cells: phagocytes and immunocytes. Phagocytes carry out the function of body defense by engulfing pathogen. Immunocytes are responsible for immunity and carry out immune responses by producing antibodies. Phagocytes are further divided into two types: granulocytes and agranulocytes. Nucleophils, eosinophils, then lymphocytes, monocytes. They are further responsible for destroying microorganisms, microbes, and help in healing of injuries. Platelets are irregularly shaped, non-nucleated fragment of giant cell. They play a role in blood clotting. Blood plasma serves the function transport of nutrients, carbon dioxide, waste product, hormones, metabolic intermediates. RBC help in transport of oxygen. WBC act as soldiers, scavengers, builders of the body, and platelets help in blood clotting. So this is all about animal tissue.